Hello, everybody. Welcome to What If Marvel Never Sold Their Rights Part 6. This is the last part of the multiverse saga. I don't think I'll do Phase 7 in a while because I want to work on other things. Like, I want to do what if there was a Batman Cinematic Universe? What if there was a 2000s Marvel Cinematic Universe? Etc. And I'm also working on the Angry Birds movie, as I mentioned on my community posts and stuff like that. But this really is truly like the final part of the multiverse saga. And as you see before you, these are some of the films we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a lot. Phase 6 is going to be quite a big phase. So let's just dive into it. So starting off, the first project is Deadpool 3. This will be like, it could be a multiverse movie in this version or it couldn't. But in this film, it's Deadpool finding Wolverine. And at this point, Wolverine's like very old. It's like based off of the Old Man Logan storyline. And we'll even have X-23, which was introduced in Phase 3. And it'll basically just explore her a little bit more, but it's mainly about Deadpool. And X-23 movie will be set up in this film. Next up, we have the fourth Fantastic Four movie. This movie is basically like part 2, where like the last movie where the Fantastic Four is sent back in time and deals with King Tut, who is the main villain. And after the fourth Fantastic Four movie, we have is Iron Man 4, or how the actual name will actually be called, Iron Man Armor Wars. In this movie, the main villain will be none other than Justin Hammer, who will basically just like have his own Stark tech, and basically supervillains just getting armor. Like we have Titanium Man in the movie. He's going to be in this film. We'll have Whiplash, who was in Iron Man 2, but this is like a new version of Whiplash that was inspired off of the original. We also have Blizzard will be in this movie, and even a Spider-Man villain known as the Beetle, who the original Beetle, not Tombstone's daughter. Then we also have Iron Lad, who's another variant of Kang that will be introduced in this movie, even setting up a Young Avengers show, which I'll talk about later. And then we also have Punisher will show up in this film and get his hands on a War Machine armor. This also symbolizes it's also affecting the street level side. I also kind of want Spider-Man. He won't be in this movie, but in the real life Armor Wars movie we're getting, I hope Spider-Man will be in it, because like just to show it's even affecting the street level side of the MCU. So here are some shows. They're not necessarily in order. They'll show up across the entirety of the Phase 6, so they're not all together, but here's an X-23 show. I accidentally said film earlier, it's really a show. And the Wendigo can be the main villain, who's like known for being like an antagonist against Hulk and Wolverine. Then we have the Okoye show. I don't know what this show is going to be about in the MCU, but I think it's going to be exciting. So, yeah, Okoye show. Then we get a show about Wonder Man, who basically is like an actor who becomes a superhero or something like that. I don't know too much about him. And then we have the Vision Quest show that's coming out. This show will happen, and maybe Vision can show up in Armor Wars, but I don't think so. I'm just going to have him like reintroduced into this show. Moon Knight Season 2 will happen. This could explore King Tut and Kang, or it couldn't. Maybe Midnight's the main villain. Either way, Moon Knight Season 2. Loki Season 3 happens, and this show will introduce Kang the Conqueror, the main prime variant of Kang, who will be introduced in Season 3. And then we have a Spider-Woman show, which will focus on Spider-Woman, how she's dealing with basically the Queen of the Skrulls pretended to be her for a while, and it will show her what happened on that ship, how she became Spider-Woman, etc. And the villain that will show up a lot in the show will be Silver Sable, who was hired to hunt her down. She'll like basically just be hunting down Spider-Woman, and then at the end of the show, it will be revealed that she was hired by Baron Zemo, who will be the basically final threat that they deal with and whatnot. This could also lead into the Spider-Verse, which is coming up, but it doesn't have to. And that's all for the shows. There's one more show that I'll talk about. That's the Young Avengers show, but I kind of want to talk about that closer to King Dynasty. Anyways, let's get back to the movies. So the next film, or this third film of Phase 6, is Shang-Chi. It will just be simply called Shang-Chi, and it will basically be about Shang-Chi having possession of the Ten Rings. The main villain will be Fing Fang Fu, which is basically like a alien-like dragon who's usually an Iron Man antagonist. He could be in the next Shang-Chi movie, but I heard Kang's going to be the main villain. Speaking of Kang, a variant of Kang called the Scarlet Centurion will be the main. Basically, will be introduced either at the end of the movie, in the climax, or the post-credit scene. He'll just be introduced, setting up. He'll be the main villain of the Young Avengers show. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This will basically... Alright, I need to tell you something. So, I've had it where Ronan the Accuser was the main villain in the first Fantastic Four movie. I've changed my mind, and I decided to make it where it will be Mole Man. And in the sequel, the main villain will be, instead of Galactus, it will be Annihilus, introducing the Negative Zone, and the Fantastic Four will get stuck there for a while. So no, they wouldn't. That means they wouldn't really be in the Infinity War, unfortunately. But they will interact with the Avengers in Endgame. And then on the Guardians side of things, the main villain of the first Guardians movie will be Ronan the Accuser. And then in the sequel, it will be Ego, the Living Planet. I just wanted to go ahead and tell you this. So there's that. Of course, these what ifs 1 through part 4 were like my first early videos, so they're kind of like old. So maybe you heard me mumble through it. I don't know. Next up is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is a live-action version. I wanted to save this for the third movie, but with the multiverse saga cutting short, I decided just to put it off for the sequel. But I do have an idea for a third film whenever I get to part 7. So the Spider-Man that will show up in this film is the Ultimate Comic Spider-Man, which basically will be the mentor of Miles Morales in this movie. And also Miles Morales' love interest in the film will be Ghost Spider, who will basically it's like a what if reality. Maybe she showed up in What If Season 2 or 3 that I haven't gone over because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why. Either way, moving on. We have basically she shows up, the love interest of Miles Morales, and there's that. Spider-Man Noir will also be in this film. Basically, there's that. Really not much to say there. Same thing with Spider-Man 2099. He will be in this film to help the rest of the Spider-Man. And then another really good one, Superior Spider-Man. They'll also go across the Spider-Verse, so they'll be going to different realities. Main villain will be Morlun, who is a vampire who hunts down spider tomes for trophies and stuff like that. He will be the main villain here in Into the Spider-Verse. Next up is Thor 5, which will be a film about Thor, and this will be his final film. It will introduce Beta Ray Bill as basically like the new setup for him to be the new Thor, but not exactly right now. Surtur will basically be the main villain. It will be revealed that he survived after Ragnarok. And in this movie, Thor will also reach his full potential, which with the Odin Force, which if you don't know is more powerful than Chaos Magic, because Thor with the Odin Force is actually more powerful than Scarlet Witch. Whether if you like it or not, it's called Ruin King Glorial. Like Thor is at his prime. Young Avengers will be a show that will be the last show of Phase 6, and will focus on like the younger Avengers. So, some of them won't be Young Avengers, but some of them will. Iron Lad will have a big part in this show, and it will be revealed in this show that he's a variant of Kang. And the main villain, as I said before, is the Scarlet Centurion, who will reveal to Iron Lad that he is a variant of Kang, and things like that. Anyways, after the Young Avengers show, we have his Captain Marvel 3. Don't really know what it'll actually be called, but here is actually a very important film. Actually, extremely important, because this is the first film like the first movie to have Kang Prime as the main villain. I decided to put him here because it's the cosmic side of Marvel, and why not have Captain Marvel, a powerful Avenger, fight Kang, and then Kang defeats her to show how powerful he truly is, setting up King Dynasty. She won't die, but she will be in King Dynasty. Then we have Doctor Strange in the Dark Dimension, or whatever it can be called. This movie will focus on Doctor Strange going to the Dark Dimension, battling Dormammu, maybe Nightmare can be evolved, just a lot of demons that Doctor Strange will fight. And then we have the Kang Dynasty, which will focus a lot on Miles Morales' POV, because he's like the most important character now after Spider-Man, basically like carrying on through Spider-Man. And it will have all different, like every single Kang variant we've seen before will be in this film. And then Avengers Secret Wars, which either can be started by two ways. Doctor Doom helped the Avengers fight Kang, and then after they defeated him, he becomes God Emperor Doom. Or after they defeat Kang, an evil or another variant of Kang rises up and creates Battle World, or the Beyonder at his prime, or a Kang that just is the Beyonder. They switch it up or whatnot. It's definitely better than having Kang beat the Avengers, basically like Infinity War. It gives it more of a more shocking, like it's the Avengers' fault. Battle World is a thing. Anyways, y'all, that will be all. So thank you for watching. Like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you want to. Comment anything you want. Anyways, see ya.